It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I think we are all a little bit stressed, struggling with our sleeping patterns, and I don't know about you, but I'm developing a tendency to comfort eat and generally not eating as healthily as I should. Why do we experience these problems, and how can we live healthier in lockdown? On the line is Dr. Darren Green, who's going to shed some light on these topics and also share a great immune-boosting smoothie recipe. Dr. Darren, how are you keeping?
I'm surviving. Working on that thriving. Stressful times, obviously, for many of us at the moment. So certainly a lot of challenges, but we need to have a few key areas and concepts in place to help us get through this process, man.
Yeah, I definitely understand and can feel you there. So how do we do this unhealthy vortex we find ourselves in?
No, 100%. I think there's no one thing that you can do that's going to put you in the best position. It's a combination of things. Balance is key, obviously. And there's a triad that I always refer to: sleep, diet, and exercise. But specific things, obviously. About sleep, you have to think about your sleep routine. Firstly, do you have a routine in your day-to-day activities? Are you getting up at a certain time? Are you going to bed at a certain time? Are you setting boundaries in terms of your sleep, in terms of knowing when to put off the binge watching? And do you have those systems in place to help you? And then, are you making good choices around the food? Firstly, you eat what you have at home. If you've got a cupboard full of crisps and junk food, you're going to eat that when you're hungry, as snacks and so forth. So what's available in your house? And also, how do you view the food? Are you seeing the food as a comfort replacement for social hugs and kisses? Or is food viewed as fuel for the amount of energy you need and the activity that you're actually doing in the daytime? And then the last component, besides those three, sleep, diet, and exercise, is stress coping mechanisms. What are you doing to blow off steam? What are you doing to handle your stress? Are you meditating? Are you doing some mindfulness? Are you quietening yourself at some stage? Are you shouting into your pillow? Are you reading? What are you doing? Listening to some music to chill, etc. So incorporate all those components into your approach to countering the stress of this lockdown.
I love how much you speak about balance, and I think it really does help getting structure into our day. But you mentioned earlier that good food choices. So what do you suggest we eat to boost our immune systems, to prevent those colds and flus?
So I think a big one is you can't just boost your immune system overnight. There's no one drink or one food sort that you can take suddenly and tomorrow, boom, your immune system is going to be up and ready to kill anything and counter anything. So it's a pattern of behavior that leads to you being in a good space and being ready to deal with infections and threatening infections. So making those three things that I mentioned earlier on, but food-wise, specifically drinking enough water, obviously getting in enough fruit and vegetables, not too much fruit, but certainly a lot more vegetables and good choices in your vegetables for the essential elements and phytonutrients, quite important. And then keeping that as a sustained pattern of eating is very important. It's not about what you do on one day, it's what you're doing over an average that's going to help your immune system. Things like zinc and vitamin C, folic acid and iron, for example, crucial elements in basic health.
Oh, I love that. So constantly staying healthy every day is essentially the key. So now I know you have some great immune-boosting smoothie recipes which you would like to share with us. So can you please take us through some of these ingredients?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, carrots, carrots are out there. They're cheap. They're easy to get hold of. Carrots contain beta-carotene, which is great for your eyesight. A lot of you are spending time on screens and reading. Even the scholars are reading for hours. Your beta-carotene is important. The eyes love it. Then oranges, obviously, we all know about vitamin C. So what you didn't know about oranges is vitamin B, especially thiamine, which is a very important drug in modulating, obviously, the turnaround of sugar and so forth. And also those that drink alcohol, obviously, must be aware of thiamine, because you deplete your thiamine stores when you drink too much alcohol. And then, obviously, things like ginger. I love ginger. Just because I love Eastern food and Asian food, and ginger's got a great spicing component to it. Ginger's useful for things like gut health. It often helps people with nausea, constipation, a bit of bloating and gas and so forth. And then spinach. Like old Papa, he had something going there with spinach. Obviously, lots of iron in spinach. Very important, unique vegetable in the sense that it's got some iron in it. And iron is essential for, as you know, for the red blood cells to carry oxygen and many other functions in the human body. And then to spice things up a bit, people love speaking about turmeric. turmeric is known for some anti-inflammatory response, modulation and so forth. A lot of evidence still required in terms of how much you need for what effect and all that measurable stuff coming forward. And then cinnamon. Cinnamon is amazing at regulating things like your blood sugar level and keeping the circulating blood sugar levels a little bit more stable. So sprinkling some cinnamon into your smoothie is useful. So I hope you got all those ingredients.
Well, look, you're definitely mentioning a lot of my favorites, which I love to throw into a smoothie. But Doc, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today. We are going to head into the kitchen making Dr. Darren's smoothie with a NutriBullet. So check it out.